Hi everyone, welcome back to the Fat Lady Knits. To my new subscribers, welcome, welcome. I hope all is going well. And as promised, I am here to show you how to make the crochet necklace. Um, how do I start? Well, remember this one? This is my favorite, and after that bright pink, yellow is my next favorite color. And so I have this here, and it's yellow and clear beads. These are all plastic. And then I have this little thing here that I just threw on to give it some more interest. Um, this is probably going to be part one of part two because I don't see this finishing in 15 minutes. So let's really get into it. Okay, let's move this. Now, one of the first things you want to do when you decide to make a necklace is to choose your beads. As you can see here, I have some fake pearls, some multicolor beads, some black ones, and some clear. I seem to have an affinity for really clear beads. And to get started, I made some recommendations about wire. Because we're practicing, I'm using 26 gauge floral wire. If you have an idea of what you're doing, you have lots of wire hanging about. The 24 gauge works well. If you already have the wire used for beading, is that okay? 24 gauge is what's recommended, but I use 26 because I find 24 is really hard on my hands. Okay, the first thing you're going to do, and this is really important because sometimes you forget and you go on to the next step and you're like, oh my God. So, I'm not going to necessarily use these beads, but I'm going to use these colors. So, I'm just going to randomly throw some beads onto this wire. It will probably help if I put on a pair of glasses so I can actually see the beads. Oh, that's so much better. The world changes when you put on your glasses. Okay. And you just throw them on here. Look at that. I can find the holes. Did I speak too soon? Okay. And I'm going to just put on 15 beads. You can put on 15 beads, 20 beads, 30 beads, 40 beads. The more beads you put on, though, the more unwieldy this project may become. Okay? So it's good to start with 15 because we're practicing. 2, 4, 6, 8, 9, 10, 11. And there's no order to it. You put on the beads as you like. Okay? If you are a symmetrical person, you want a pattern, you do that. If you don't care, you throw on any beads. You can use any size, any shape, square beads, oval beads. It's really up to you. 2, 4, 6, 8, 10, 12, 14. And I need another bead. Okay, so I have 15 beads here. Okay, they're on the wire. I'm just going to let them slide down. Now, do yourself a favor. If you're using wire that's on this, throw it in a cup. Okay, something, because you don't want the wire as you're working. You don't want the wire to explode and just flow all over the place. Okay, once you have your beads on the wire, the next thing, forgive the shadow, you're going to do is measure the length of your hand from the tip of your longest finger to your wrist. And then you're going to take your wire as though it was crochet thread, and you're going to take a crochet hook. Now this is a 10 size J, and let me tell you, this is an instance in which size matters. The bigger this hook at the end of your crochet hook, the better for you. Okay, especially with a 24 gauge wire. The bigger the hook, the better. And so you start your foundation for a chain, and you're going to make 15 chains. Sometimes the first one is a hard one. You get it in there. Ooh, look at that. You get that in there and you pull. And if at first you don't succeed, try again. This is determined not to. Okay, let me try a smaller hook. This is a 4mm. I know this for sure. Look at that. Well, now that I've started, I'm going to take it out and go back to my jumbo hook here. And I'm going to make 15 chains. 2, 3, and I'm going to have to unravel the wire some. 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15. Okay, this is getting in the way now. And so you have your excess wire and you have your 15 crochet chains. Okay, we're working with 15. It'll make it easier to remember. And then what you're going to do is bring a bead up from the wire. I've got a clear one here. See right there? I'm going to slide it next to the crochet hook, and I'm going to take this finger and hold it in place, and I'm going to make another chain stitch. Then I'm going to do a chain stitch without a bead. I'm going to bring another bead up behind the crochet hook, hold it in place, chain stitch, then another chain stitch. And while I'm doing this, one of the things I'm going to do is make sure my beads land on the same side. I'm going to press them flat because I want them all to be on the same size. I don't want a bead on this side and a bead on that. No, they're all going to be here. Okay, and I'm going to slide another bead, hold behind the crochet hook, hold it in place, make a chain stitch, press the wire and the bead down, and then I'm going to make a chain stitch without a bead, and I'm going to do that for the length of all of these beads that I have on my wire. Okay, and so that this does not take 2 hours, I'm going to put this down and show you what one of these strands look like when you're done. And here we have the wire at the beginning, 15 chain, and we've put all the beads on, and they're all, as you can see, they're all facing in the same direction. Sometimes they're on different sides of the chain stitch, but they're all face up, okay? And this is important. Now, because I'm using a 26 gauge, the wire is very soft, it's very flexible, which I like. The 24 gauge wire will give you a thicker, stronger chain. It will not be as flexible. And because we want these to lay flat on our neck, one of the things you can do with the 26 gauge, if you choose to use that wire, is to chain a second, to make a second strand of just chain. And what you're going to do with it, let me show you because I have a sample right here. You're going to have, here's a strand with your wire, your chain stitches, your beads. And then here's another strand that's nothing but chain stitch. And what you're going to do is put them together. You're going to wrap the chain that's by itself around, let me see if I can show you. You're going to wrap it around, yeah, this is the fun part of this. You're going to wrap it around that other strand that has the beads on it. So pretend they're getting married. Put one around the other, one around the other. Let me show you. See what that looks like? Because you're putting one, it's over and under, then over. You probably didn't see that. Let me see if I can make sure I do it on camera. Okay, hold on. Here are your beads. Here's your plain crochet chains. You put it over, then you pass it under, and you bring it over, making sure that you do not cover the beads that you've put on that first wire. So your beads still end up at the top of your strand. And you do this for the length of the strand, and this will give you firmness in one of the strands, and that's enough to help the necklace lay flat against your chest. And the trick to this is the strand of plain chain, you don't end it until you're absolutely sure it's the right length. So you leave that last chain live, because you may need to extend, because as you see, as you wrap it gets shorter. You want to be able to pick it up, stick your crochet hook in there. Ooh, come on. Yeah, there we are. Stick your crochet hook in there if necessary, and continue to chain so that you have enough chain stitch to wrap around the first strand that just had beads on it. Now don't go too far, because you don't want to go, oh my God, I have 10 extra chain. Pulling these out is a pain. You don't want to do that. Okay, so you do some and then you adjust as necessary. Let's get this out of here. Now, your aim in doing this is to create 3 strands, and one just fell. Okay, not a problem. Here are 2 strands. Okay, yeah. And you can see this is the strand where I wrapped the secondary wire around the first one, so that this is much more stable than this one. As you can see, this one flows all over the place. Now, let me see if I can move this and retrieve. Oh my God, it would be all the way back there. Okay, I got it. Oops, this is about to fall. Actually, working here seems to be good. Okay, what we're going to do, you're going to make 3 of these strands. Okay, so you have a strand with some beads, a second strand with some beads, and a third strand with some more beads. This is the reinforced one. It does not matter when you put them together where you put this. If it's easier for you for it to be in the middle, then put it in the middle. Okay, and that's the first part of this project. Okay, yeah. And though it's not put together in a necklace, those colors look really nice together. And then once you've done that, what are you going to do? You are going to braid this. You're going to take the 3 strands and hold them together at the top. You leave all this hanging wire there, and I've placed the reinforced one in the middle, and you're going to take your right strand and you're going to pass it over the middle, and you're going to do this where the chains begin, and then the left one over the middle. Since this is not too long, it's not going to get tangled, but once again you're going to put right over middle, then left over middle, then right over middle, then left over middle. You're literally braiding all the way down. It's, it's easier to do when you're not trying to hold it in front of a camera, but you're literally braiding. If you've never braided before, I'm sure there's a video, but it basically is, hold on, right over middle, left over middle, right over middle, left over middle. When you finish the chain braiding, it will look like this. Okay? And then you're ready to work with your beads. So let's untangle. Okay, we're still doing right over middle followed by left over middle, but you're going to take care here so that you push your beads up to the front. That's done right. We're now going to put left over middle, and that's why it's important to push all the beads to one side, and when you're working, make sure your beads are face up. And once again, you put the right over the middle, then you take the left strand and you put it over the middle, and that is the beginning of your necklace. And as you can see, the pattern is just starting to show itself. Okay, so those are the first few steps of this process. I hope it's clear, and we'll do the rest in the next episode. And if you've gotten this far, oh, thank you for staying with me, because we know me, lights, camera, it's never just action, it's drama. Okay, until next time, because I'm not sure, it's kind of late for me, it's after midnight, so I'm not going to be doing the second part of this video tonight. Maybe I will have enough energy to do it, though I do have a project tomorrow, but we will see. I will get the second video up ASAP. Thank you for being here. I'll catch you next time.